Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm Gary, and this is not David. So, David and I were going to read today, and unfortunately, Dave hurt his back. So, I'll be doing a couple of solos here until David's able to stand upright and move about freely. So, I hope you're feeling better, Davey. I know you're not watching this, so I guess I can say anything I want about you, and you would never know the difference. But yeah, so Dave's in a little bit of discomfort right now. So he got stuck with me. Okay, so the good news is I don't have David telling me what not to read on. So you're getting Gary raw and unfiltered. The only way to have Gary, I suppose. It's like the old Camel cigarettes back in the 50s and the 60s before they had filters on them. You just get all the tar and nicotine into your system without any sort of protection whatsoever. So there's a lot going on in the world these days. Trump had a speech at the Department of Justice on Friday, where he proclaimed himself the chief law enforcement officer in the country. Usually that title goes to the Attorney General. Apparently now it's Donald J. Trump is our chief law enforcement officer. He went on in the speech to, do what he typically does, which is, attack and lash out at his perceived enemies. And that would include, any person that was involved in any case against him, because it was obviously all corrupt in a scam and a witch hunt, blah, blah, blah. The media, always a fair target for Trump's ire. Although it's funny because a lot of corporate media now just kisses the ring and bows and praises to him, but he still feels the need to lash out at, like AP and Reuters and anyone who might have a slightly more independent view on what he's up to. MSNBC, obviously, he's always going to get his ire because they're diametrically opposed to his agenda and the way he looks at things. He praised Judge Aileen Cannon. Why wouldn't he, right? And, of course, he had a glowing review of his own lawyers and, of course, his political allies. So, Donald is out there. It's very interesting. This time around, he is trying to grab as much power as he can. He's definitely floated the idea of going for a third term. He says, I just like to say that because it riles up the Democrats. Well, yeah, there's a reason why it riles up the Democrats, because they know that you actually means it, right? That Trump actually means what he says. He's just floating that thought bubble up there to see what kind of reaction he gets from the people around him. And if he gets a positive reaction, he's going to go ahead and try and do it. He's trying to grab the purse strings away from Congress. He's lashing out at the Justice Department. And he's trying to basically consolidate his power. So let's take a look at what's going on with Trump and MAGA, and let's see if he's going to be successful in this power grab. This is for entertainment purposes only. I have not stacked the deck yet. I guess I could pause the camera and stack it. I will shuffle it poorly one more time for all to see. This is what drives David crazy, because the cards are so thick that I can't shuffle them all comfortably just by cutting the deck in half. Okay, so now I have completely stacked the deck, and we'll see. So let's start this reading. Trump's consolidating power. Is this an attempt for Trump to subvert our democracy and establish himself as a fascist leader and king? Entertainment purposes only. Okay. What are we going to get out of this? Okay, foundation of the reading is the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands means things that are happening quickly. It's also actions and communications over airways. So this is certainly, Trump going out there making his speeches, putting his agenda out there. Um, and the Trump apologists like to say that, oh, he's just being Trump. Everyone else who knows Trump is basically saying, holy Christ, this is a really bad thing. The challenge, the cross, is the Seven of Cups. The lunacy of it, the craziness, the illusions, and basically he's just making shit up. It's that level of crazy. It could be he truly wants to do this. Is in his crazy mind he thinks he could get away with it, but that's maybe the challenge is he may not have enough crazy left in him to make it happen. In other words, he may actually lose his mind before he's able to execute this plan, which is a very curious thought. I hadn't considered that he's his level of crazy may his lunacy may outpace him here. So let's see. Underneath it all, we got the World card. It's coming to the end of a cycle, the completion of the cycle. There's been a lot of talk about the age of Aquarius coming in, and it doesn't necessarily come in on rainbows and ponies. We may head into the age of Aquarius having endured a whole bunch of craziness and crazy actions from Trump. It could also be the end of his good health and the end of his good mental health. Although, frankly, I think a lot of us would argue whether he has good mental health anymore. In the past, we got the King of Cups. To me, this is kind of, if it's Trump sitting on the throne, it's always been tough because for the longest time we've always seen this as Biden. The King of Cups, it's about mastering your emotions, and keeping that balance, if you will. I don't think anyone could ever accuse Trump of mastering his emotions and being emotionally balanced. This could be those around him help prevent him from being his worst self. And he doesn't have that anymore. This time around, he's surrounded himself with a bunch of people that are going to let him be the worst version of himself. Current energy is the Seven of Pentacles, reaping what you sow. Looking at all these opportunities out there and which one should I harvest next? Is he trying to get us on? Is he trying to establish himself as a king and send us down the path of fascism? He's certainly looking at what options he's got. It's all, reaping what you sow too. He has surrounded himself with a bunch of loyalists, but that doesn't mean they aren't ambitious on their own right. And if Trump goes away, they may want to try and pick up the banner and run with it. It's a little bit dangerous. Overarching energy is the Fool, going on a new journey, a new beginning. So that's interesting. The energy that we're not seeing is the end of the cycle. The energy we are seeing is the beginning of the new journey. This is the last card of the cycle. This is the first card of the cycle in the big picture. That's very interesting to me. So, okay, let's keep going. Fascism is definitely not a journey I want to go on. The lesson to be learned is the Knight of Pentacles. It's the lesson you should be doing is you should be sitting back and observing. Instead of taking all these rapid actions that make you look like you're crazy or are as a result of your crazy, it would be better served if you sat back and you just observed. And you've got your things of value here that you can bring, but you don't need to charge headlong into it. What's the outcome? Ace of Pentacles. Oh, it's okay. So the outcome of all of this is we're going to have a new beginning. Something new of value is going to start as a result of this. So that's interesting. So, the question I was originally looking at here is Trump basically setting himself up to be a dictator? And the cards are basically saying that we are definitely on a new journey. We're coming to an end of a cycle. We're on a new journey. Um, New things of value are going to present themselves to us. So I guess let's keep going. What does the Ace of Pentacles mean? What are those new things of value? What does that look like? What do we need to know about that Ace of Pentacles, the new things of value, the outcome of the last reading? Just keep going. I just saw the bottom card. It's going to be very interesting there. You can see it too. All right. So what does that Ace of Pentacles mean? What's the new beginning? Okay. Well, it's reaping what you're sowing. Okay. So we've got a lot of things that we have a value, and we just have to decide what things we want to harvest at this time. Okay, what is that Ace of Pentacles? What more do we need to know? What's the challenge? The challenge is the end of the cycle. The king is dead, long live the king. Okay, that could be the end of our democracy. It could be the end of the king too. You know, the death card is we always make excuses. It's not as bad as you think it is. It just means something is coming to an end. But it could also be, literally something is coming to an end. The energy underneath it is the Ten of Swords. That's the end of another cycle. They have hurt you all they can do. They can no longer hurt you anymore. So what this is telling me is Trump is running his course. His course is coming to an end. He's looking at all the things that he can do, but something is coming to an end, and it's the final part of it. I was going to do a reading later on the end of the Trump era and what brings it about. These cards are telling me that it's either the end of the Trump era or it's the end of our democracy. I know what I'm rooting for. Let's keep going. What's that Ace of Pentacles? What do we need to know? In the past, okay, this is kind of like that. The other Seven of Cups. Six of Cups is, it's a bit of a nostalgia card. Remember when we used to be kind to each other? The Seven is more the lunacy and illusions and delusions. In the past, we used to be kind to each other. We would emotionally support each other. We would care about each other. Current energy with that Ace of Pentacles. There you go. The current energy is we're on the new journey. We started a new journey. This was the overarching energy last time. Lesson to be learned. No one to fight. No one to walk away. Winner takes all. This could be we finally fought back. That it's like defending your democracy. It's like, no, you're not taking this away from us. We're finally gonna fight back. This could be people coming together to fight back. I mean, Lord help us. He's doing so much that is damaging so many people. And, the saying is, the most dangerous person is the person who has nothing left to lose. And if you're taking away someone's SNAP and you're taking away their Social Security, you're taking away their Medicare, you're taking, their not only their ability to take care of their health, but their ability to actually function and live, you're going to have a bunch of pissed off people. And, if you survive long enough for an election, they vote. They get motivated and they vote. Okay, lesson to be learned about that Ace of Pentacles. It's about giving back. You can't just take. The government has a lot of resources. It needs to give back to the people that need it, and it needs to be just. I am not getting fascism out of this. I'm getting the people want to move back to being kind to each other, and that we had to go down a different path and we had to fight in order to get back to that. What's the outcome? The outcome that's a very interesting outcome too. So the outcome is the Five of Cups. The sadness of this could be just the sadness of what we had to go through, what we had to endure to get to the end, to get to this outcome. this, if you're going to go down the fascism, it could be the oligarchs stay in control. They're just giving us little nuggets of help, and that our democracy is not good. Still goes either way. That's always the tough part with tarot. It's always open to interpretation, and I'm somewhat optimistic. I'm always feeling like I'm looking for the positive sides of things, which sometimes that drives my brother nuts. Sometimes it drives you nuts in the comments. If I give any sort of nod that maybe what the Republicans doing has some sort of long-term benefit that we haven't considered, I sometimes get slammed for that, and that's fine. It's just my opinion. It doesn't mean I'm right. So just a little four-carder. What does the sorrow card mean? Let's keep going. What does that sorrow card mean in the outcome from the Ace of Pentacles? Is that remorse over what we had to go through, or is that remorse over, gee, we sure miss our democracy? Okay. Foundation is a Two of Pentacles. This is about bringing balance, surviving the turbulence. Okay, clarifier, the Queen of Swords. This is one of those, it's not emotional. This is what you did, this is what you wanted, this is what you got. Wheel of Fortune, the future's wide open, anything can happen. King of Swords, now this is even more than the Queen of Swords. This is what you wanted, this is what you got. You got everything you deserved. And underneath it is the Judgment card. Stand up and it's time for you to stand up for what you believe in. Okay. This is crazy times. I'm not sure yet. Maybe it's just a little too early for us to know, but it could go either way, honestly. I have a hunch that sorrow card, what that was MAGA and the folks that think like MAGA realizing what the F they did. And what we're getting there is those two, the King of Swords, the Queen of Swords, the Two of Pentacles being MAGA, with the big red MAGA hat. But we thought we were doing what was best. We were saving money and we were getting rid of corruption. And you got the two swords, the King and the Queen of Swords, saying, yeah, no, this is what you wanted. This is what you got. And then underneath it is the, stand up and it's time to stand up and really show what you believe in. I actually feel very comfortable that this is coming to an end, that we're not going to end up in a fascist state, that it's truly going to come to an end, that Death card and the Ten of Swords is really the ending of this nonsense that we're being put through by Trump and MAGA, and that sorrow card is just really MAGA coming around to the realization that, holy crap, what the hell did we do? So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Dave, I hope you're feeling better. And he and I will probably start reading probably on Tuesday night, I suspect. So I'll probably do a couple readings to get us at least through Tuesday, and then hopefully you'll see Dave and I together starting on readings that begin on Wednesday. So if you like these videos, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment. I read them all. I respond to many. Subscribe. We put out a new video every night at midnight, and we give shout outs and secret cards. So today I'm going to give out a couple of shout outs to folks in the comment section. The first is to Wendy Klebe, Kleeb, made a very generous donation to the channel. Thank you, Wendy. You got the Seven of Pentacles. We'll decide how we want to spend that kind contribution there. Robin Davis, who's been very active in the chat, also made a kind contribution. And Robin, you're going to get, let's see. Did I just do this upside down? You're going to get the Hanged Man. So Robin, we're gonna have to look at things a little differently if I'm going to make these cards upside down. So thank you so much for your contribution, Robin. We'll hopefully we'll know what to do with that. We won't leave everything hanging upside down. And then let's see, Critter Karma. We're going to give... Ooh, you got another major arcana too. Wheel of Fortune, Critter Karma. Yeah, isn't that ironic? You get the Karma card, right? Lyd Trevison. Like I can't read my own writing. Lyd Trevisonian. I'm sorry if I butchered it, Lynn. Your secret card is... Thank you so much for your comments. Your secret card is the Queen of Pentacles. Please take care. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. And then I'm going to wrap it up with two more. Lena Abrahams, who is constantly in the comment section. Hi, Lena. It's so good to see you. And you get the Seven of Wands, having to defend yourself against people who mispronounce your name. And then we're going to wrap it up with Susan Francis. Yay! Hi, Susan. And Susan, you're going to get the Judgment card. Please don't judge me. Make sure that you're blowing your horn and that people are letting you know exactly where they stand around you. Anyways, thank you so much, folks. I really appreciate it. And the secret card for the rest of us, oh, I already pulled that one. Let's just grab the one at the bottom of the deck. How's that? Secret card for the rest of us is the Knight of Cups. We just got to be patient. You know, it's really easy to get very emotional right now. Let's just be patient. Let's hold our emotions out there. We'll get through this. We just have to stick together, and we have to get through it knowing that there's a plan. Don't lose hope. It's very easy to see this as a hopeless situation. Don't lose hope. We will get through this. Take care, folks. Have a great day.